Good afternoon. In recent years, I have been witnessing an influx of my generation when it comes to reading books. Reading books has become a symbol of being intellectual, become a hot trend, and more importantly, for some parents, it is associated with being intelligent. And for this reason, this is probably why you may have come across this article on the internet. I will read this in văn hóa đọc của giới trẻ hiện nay. And then another one. Văn hóa đọc giới trẻ Việt đang dần đánh mất. So, these people, they upgrade reading into a culture. And in the past, to be honest, I was an avid follower of this culture. I mean, I love books, but I kind of worship it. So I have some of my friends who are both voracious readers. We join Goodreads for the reason which is that we compete with each other on how many books we have read each year. And I have set myself an explicit goal to read each of my friends. And at the time, I believed that only through reading books could I be more knowledgeable, more intelligent, and more erudite. You know the word? Erudite. And then, after a while of this racing, I started to feel empty. And I wonder why. I think about the reason I started reading in the first place. What was I reading just to prove that I'm intelligent? And then, with all things considered, it leads me to a bigger question, which is reading a culture. Now, let's look at the definition of culture by the UNESCO. Culture is that whole thing, is that complex whole which includes knowledge, beliefs, art, morals, law, customs, and any other capabilities and habits that are acquired by humans as a member of a society. So if we compare reading with this definition, so it explicitly that reading lacks a lot of factors to be a culture, right? I believe that reading is just a habit, and it is a healthy habit which produces recreational benefit, and it's helped you to get exposed to knowledge very quickly. But why people making a fuss about it? Why everybody is so competent about reading books? What is so special about that? So this is my belief. Reading books is just a habit, but it's a good habit. We serve the reader with recreational benefit, or is help them get quick access to knowledge. So back to the point why people are so crazy about that. I can explain it by 2 points. The first one is people often tend to make comparison between hobbies. You can see this clearly in kids. So remember when you were just a 5-year-old kid, all you want to do is hang out with your friends, play with stick and stone like digging the sand. But what your parents want is enlightenment by books. You have to read. Because guess what? The kids next door, the golden like that, he has been literate since 3 years old. And now you are 5-year-olds and you don't know how to read. Such a feel. So I think this boils down to the fact that parents and some of us have the habit to compare between hobbies. They overrate some type of hobby, for example, reading. A lot of parents believe that if their kids start reading as many books as possible, the kids will be knowledgeable. And the more knowledgeable their kids become, the more intelligent he seems to be. But it's not true. Reading books is just a tool. It's just a tool, a means to gain knowledge. And it doesn't mean anything. You are more than the books you read. And also, the second point why people are so crazy about reading books is the false attachment of self-worth. A lot of people I know attach their self-worth to the book that they read. Oh, so you tell me you're reading 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, you gross. No, you're not gross. You're not gross. So I have seen it a lot throughout the course of my 20 life, legal life, that a lot of people believe that they would be deemed more respectable, more knowledgeable if they read the academic books, the big deal book like the brief history of time. And if you read Doraemon, you read Conan, then you're stupid ass. No, it's not like that. You are more than the books that you read. And as I said, if you want to gain knowledge, there are many ways to do that. So that's why it leads to my second point, which is when you decide to pick up reading as a hobby. So let's say this. People often get confused by the three words. So what does reading books exactly mean? Book, a written text that can be published in or printed or electronic form. To read means to look at words or symbols and understand what they mean. Pay attention to the read and the research definition. To research is to study a subject in details, especially in order to discover new information or reach a new understanding. So I believe that most of us just stop at the phase of read, which means to understand, to make sense of what you see on the written text. And even when you finish a book, it doesn't make any sense. I believe that you can only enjoy the reading process if you go through the research stage. What does it mean? So for me personally, when I read a book, when I finish it, I speculate about what the author says. And I may disagree or agree with the way that he presents the information, he presents his viewpoint, and then I will reach out to other sources to compare, to contrast, to testify, to verify my ideas, and to maybe to claim that I have a full background to be opposed to the author. And I think the most joyful reward that a book can give you is the inspiration to keep reading. Yes, because for example, in the book When Breath Becomes Air, the author mentioned a book by Vladimir Nabokov. Do you see that? When you read a book, there will be a lot of connections. Connection is what keeps us going, and what keep us. What keep me have an objective viewpoint of the reading itself. Yes. So what's the problem? What's the deficit of these things? 7 books you have to read if you want to be successful. 7 classic books you want to read. You have to read if you want to be successful. And this published in the website BM Writer, a really reliable one. Do you know it? No. Yeah, because it's really popular. I think each of the article has been shared like thousand of shares on Facebook. Yeah. And I think the deficit of these reading lists is that it molds your mindset into a confinement of knowledge, which means it is saying that if you want to be successful, you have to read these 7 books. But what if you don't? You will be a loser? You will fail? Things like that. But no. I mean, I'm standing here today to claim to you that reading is not a culture. It's not a jewelry that you're sporting to prove your self-worth. It is just a hobby. And why I think it's ridiculous to judge a person by the book they read, because it's just an expression of what your preference, what you prefer to do in your free time. And you can learn a lot more outside the book, which is I think is available as vast resources of knowledge, but it's not the only way. So this book, I hate it because it makes us feel like we are loser if we don't read it. And okay, wait a minute. So,
Are you waiting for the time?
no. I believe that quality beat quantity. Yes, one of the problem of this article is that it mentioned the number of books that you have to read to become successful. Also, there's no shortcut to success. Finishing this book doesn't guarantee you a ticket into life. No. And I believe that what counts is the process of reading. The process of reading. When you do research, the information that is written and presented in the book will become yours. And from the knowledge that you accumulated from years of reading, it will become your viewpoint. It will become the outlook for you to look out at the world. That's why I say reading is not a culture. It's a hobby, but it's important because it can influence your viewpoint. So finally, I want to say that I used to blame my parents because they didn't cultivate in me the habit of reading. But now when I grow up, I know that I was stupid, and I know that and now I am very grateful because they let me grow naturally. So I play with stick and stone, I play with the buffalo, I play with the crab. I mean, I grew up in the countryside, so I used to do that to my parents because I think that they should provide me a more academic background for me to thrive later in life. But no, I was wrong. And when I grow up, reading came to me very naturally because I am curious about the world. So especially later you will become parents. I think you don't need to force your children to read too early. I think you should introduce your kid to book, maybe book with pictures, and then you give them a break. If they want more, they will come for it. So, and now I don't feel like reading is an obligation for me. It's just like I drink water. I need reading like I drink water. I don't know how to explain, but I think it's vital for my life. Yeah. So read for yourself.